What is good, everybody? This is episode 13 for A Rational Theist. Got a little deep and personal in one way yesterday, so thought I'd have a little bit of fun today and talk about something that is also very deep and personal. But on the other spectrum, it is my hair. Guys, I had a tragedy about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I lost my longtime stylist, JC. I guess I could pull her up. JC. Found and met her at Sport Clips and followed her around the city to Downtown Hair Lounge and had her as my personal hairstylist for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, maybe even 11 years. And she could deal with my neuroses and issues and would allow me figuring out my calic and this hair that goes this way sometimes, and just loved and adored her and was able to walk through life for a long time with her. But she unfortunately decided to move on to a career in nursing and helping to do work with nursing homes. And she lives way up in Liberty. And so driving over to her place to get a haircut just isn't in the cards. But it's something that I wanted to talk about because it's funny to me how each of us have these small, strange neuroses that, for one reason or another, mean a lot to us. And what JC was able to give to me for a long time was a gift of peace and comfort and camaraderie, as a friend can only give, where every time that we got together, every month or so, we could talk life, and she could cut my hair in a way that we had fun. And then for that next month, I could feel good about myself. And something so stupid as that, where I don't see myself as a super vain person, but to have the confidence that that gave me to be able to do everything else that I do in a very tumultuous world was very helpful. And I don't know what your unique neurosy might be, but maybe you could throw it on there. For me, it's my hair and also my weight. I always kind of deal with that, but we won't talk about that today. We've already got deep enough this week. But I've been able to, I guess, have a good experience today, this morning. And that's kind of what is inspired this episode, that I needed to find somebody to cut my hair before I left for the jungle. Because once I'm in the jungle, this fluffy puff of hair does crazy things. And so I need it to be as tight as possible so that when it's humid or if I jump in the river or whatever, it's not going everywhere and looking like crap if somebody randomly takes a picture of me. And just saying it out loud, obviously that sounds vain, but it was something that was strangely stressing me out. And I just wanted to tell of the good experience I had. I searched, and there's a place locally, and I think it's nationwide, if not regionally, scissors and scotch, and just decide, you know what, I will go and give this place a shot. And it was amazing to me how just being open and willing to have a conversation with my new stylist, Michelle. And they have this whole situation where you can get a drink before you get your haircut, or you can do it afterwards, and it comes with the haircut. And was able to meet a gal named Maritza, who is it was from out in Southwest Kansas, but we were able to sit and chat for a while, and through that great experience of just getting my haircut and chatting about life, got to meet two wonderful human beings, and ultimately resulted in them welcoming me and Missions of the Amazon to come and present at their nonprofit deal in September. And it was kind of like God giving me a hug, that I know this is hard for you for whatever reason. It's something so silly, but God just gave me a hug today, that even though you're kind of weird and you care about things you probably shouldn't care about, I see you. And he gave me good experience in the midst of all the preparations for the trip that I'm leaving on Thursday morning. He just wanted to give me that experience. So thank you, JC. Love you, miss you. Hopefully someday soon we can see each other. But until that time, thank you, Michelle and Maritza, and looking forward to September. And then from my haircut, I went and got my Starlink. Look at that beast. Big old backpack. GPS. Hopefully it will allow me to do this GPS for the whole time I'm gone, or do the podcast via GPS the whole time that I'm gone. And I don't know why I said GPS. Via satellite connection. Whatever it is, however you say that. I'm new to this, but excited. I had a buddy that used to work with and is a longtime friend. He had it sitting in his garage, and he said, "Sure, come on and take it with you." And so went and picked that up. So I'm excited to do that, but I can shut up about all that for now because I still need to test it and don't want to make empty promises. But I cannot test it until I get down to the jungle and see if it'll work. But that is what, I don't know if you can see the pile of other things below it, is what getting prepared for a trip looks like, and bringing all the equipment that we've been missing or have been wanting for the past few months, looks like. And so I will just be done with today's episode and move on to my movie review, which has some relevance, but I wanted to review the movie Sight, which is one of those faith-based biopics similar to Cabrini or Fight of Freedom, Sound of Freedom. My apologies. I could do both of those. Cabrini, man, that thing rocks. It's about the story of the first ever Italian nun that came over here and started her hospital and the orphanage. And man, I love that movie. But that's not what I'm reviewing today. So it's same studios, and they do that thing at the end where you can pay it forward, and for any of you that go and watch Christian movies. But as far as Christian movies go, it was pretty good. It's this biopic of a guy named Ming Wang, and he now, I think he's probably in his 70s or 80s, but he was a pioneer in doing reconstructive surgery on eyes that were almost blind or completely blind, and he invented a way to utilize an amniotic sac and move it into the same principles into a contact lens, so that after the surgery was completed, you could wear this lens and it would bring back eyesight. And it shows his journey from, I guess, the Cultural Revolution in China back in 1969, and the hardships that he went through and the demons of his past and what he had to overcome to get from those wounds and the pain, and ultimately be able to see hope and a future in the world that he found himself in. And it's funny because there's some storylines where he grew up in a family of doctors similar to me, and there were a lot of correlations where he just was fighting with his own identity and his own purpose and trying to overcome certain things that really resonate within me. And so if you are looking to be inspired and see a beautiful, uh, I guess, biopic that shows how hard it is to overcome inadequacies at times, but then ultimately find true glory and love and purpose in your career and in your life, it is a good one. It's super wholesome and would be good for any family to go and watch. But I won't spoil it beyond that because I want you guys to enjoy the movie. So thank you for humoring my different end of the scope self-involvement, and we will talk to you tomorrow.